Humans, the ultimate puzzle, the Soralics, were the most feared predators in the galaxy. They were massive, with razor-sharp claws, eyes that could see in the dark, and strength unmatched by any other species. Yet, for reasons no one could explain, the Soralics refused to hunt humans. This mystery puzzled the entire galaxy. Vorak, an alien scientist from the planet Chloron, made it his mission to find out why. He had spent years studying the Soralics, trying to understand their behavior. They had hunted every species known to exist except humans. Vorak thought it was odd. Humans were smaller, weaker, and had no natural weapons like claws or fangs. On paper, they were the perfect prey. Vorak decided to investigate. He started by interviewing Soralics hunters who had encountered humans. The stories they told were strange and unsettling. One hunter described an incident on a human colony. "I had them cornered," the Soralics said. "There were 5 of them, unarmed and helpless. But instead of running, they started shouting at me. One of them even threw a rock at my head. I was so confused, I fled." Another hunter spoke of a human who laughed during an ambush. "It was unnatural," he said. "No prey should laugh when they're about to die." I couldn't understand it, and I didn't want to. Vorak was fascinated. These encounters didn't make sense. Why would prey act so boldly? He decided the only way to understand humans was to see them himself. Vorak traveled to Earth under the guise of a wildlife observer. He set up a small, hidden base in a forest near a human settlement. From there, he watched and waited. At first, humans seemed ordinary. They worked together to build homes, grow food, and care for their families. But as he watched more closely, Vorak noticed strange things. Humans would gather around fires at night, telling stories and laughing loudly, even in complete darkness. They seemed to have no fear of predators. One day, Vorak set up an experiment. He created a fake predator using holographic technology. The predator looked terrifying large, with sharp teeth and glowing red eyes. He placed it near a human hiking trail, expecting panic. The reaction was nothing like he imagined. A group of hikers came across the hologram and stopped. At first, they looked cautious. Then one of them said, "Wow, that looks fake," and walked closer to inspect it. Another hiker threw a stick at the hologram, laughing when it passed right through. "It's a prank," they declared, and the group moved on, completely unbothered. Vorak was stunned. No other species would behave like this. Most would run or freeze in fear. Humans, however, seemed almost amused. Determined to test them further, Vorak set up traps in the forest. He used techniques that had successfully caught other prey in his studies. But the humans always found a way out. If a trap caught one of them, the others would quickly work together to free their companion. Sometimes, they even disassembled the traps to understand how they worked. Finally, Vorak decided to confront a human directly. He disguised himself as a lost traveler and approached a small group in the forest. "Help," he said, pretending to be injured. The humans immediately sprang into action. They gave him water, patched up his fake injuries, and offered to guide him back to their settlement. Vorak was overwhelmed by their kindness. As they walked, the humans chatted with him, asking questions about where he was from and how he got lost. Their curiosity was endless, and their energy seemed boundless. They even made jokes to keep his spirits up, despite thinking he was in danger. By the time they reached the settlement, Vorak was more confused than ever. Humans were not like any other species he had studied. They weren't just unpredictable, they were kind, clever, and fearless in ways that defied logic. Back on his ship, Vorak recorded his findings. "Humans are the ultimate puzzle," he wrote. "They do not act like prey. They confront danger with curiosity and courage. They turn traps into opportunities. And when faced with a predator, they do not flee, they think, adapt, and sometimes even fight back." He added one final note for the Soralics: avoid humans not because they are weak, but because they are impossible to predict. They are not prey. They are something far more dangerous. With that, Vorak sent his report to the Galactic Science Council. The Soralics never hunted humans again, and the rest of the galaxy began to look at humanity with a mixture of fear and awe. The humans, meanwhile, continued their lives, completely unaware that they had baffled the deadliest predators in the universe. To them, it was just another day of being human. The chaos of human mind. The Soralics were not ordinary hunters. They were the galaxy's most feared predators, masters of telepathy. Using their minds, they could sense emotions like fear, panic, or desperation from miles away. This ability made hunting easy. They would locate their prey, overwhelm them with terror, and strike. No species had ever resisted them, except for humans. The Soralics avoided humans, calling them mind chaos. Whenever they tried to hunt humans, their telepathic abilities backfired. To the Soralics, this was both confusing and terrifying. Ezkor, a young Soralix hunter, was determined to solve this mystery. He had heard stories from elder hunters about their failed encounters with humans. One hunter described it as trying to read a storm, while another said, "Their thoughts don't make sense. They're too wild, too loud." Ezkor was skeptical. How could humans, a species with no claws, fangs, or physical strength, be so dangerous? He decided to hunt a human himself to prove that they were no different from any other prey. Ezkor's target was a human explorer named Captain Laura Miles. She was traveling alone on a distant planet, surveying its terrain for potential colonization. It seemed like the perfect opportunity. Ezkor followed her from a distance, observing her habits and waiting for the right moment to strike. Using his telepathy, Ezkor tried to enter Laura's mind. Normally, this was easy for him. He could see a prey's thoughts, their fears, and even their memories. But the moment he touched Laura's mind, he recoiled. Her thoughts were overwhelming. There were flashes of images, cities glowing with lights, people laughing and arguing, and strange music that filled the air. There were voices, loud and layered, talking about everything and nothing. There was anger, joy, curiosity, and even humor, all swirling together like a storm. For a moment, Ezkor was paralyzed. He had never experienced anything like it. Most species' thoughts were simple, focused on survival. But humans? Their minds were a chaotic explosion of emotions, memories, and ideas. Laura, unaware of Ezkor's presence, continued her work. She hummed a tune as she scanned the area. Ezkor tried again, this time digging deeper into her fears. If he could find something to terrify her, he could regain control of the hunt. Instead, he found memories of war. Ezkor saw scenes of humans fighting not predators, but each other. He saw battles with explosions, soldiers shouting, and fire consuming everything. But what shocked him most was not the violence, it was the resilience. Despite the chaos and destruction, humans kept fighting. They refused to give up, even when the odds were against them. Ezkor stumbled backward, his telepathic link severed. His head throbbed from the mental strain. He had expected fear, but instead he had found determination and defiance. As Ezkor tried to recover, Laura suddenly looked in his direction. She couldn't see him. He was well hidden, but she seemed to sense something. Picking up a small device, she scanned the area and frowned. "Hello," she called out, her voice calm but firm. Ezkor froze. No prey had ever done this. Most would flee or cower in fear. But this human was standing her ground, trying to confront the unknown. Realizing he was outmatched, Ezkor retreated into the forest. His mind was spinning. How could a species so physically weak be so mentally strong? Their thoughts were chaotic, yes, but there was something powerful in that chaos, a kind of unshakable will. Back on his ship, Ezkor reported his experience to the Soralix elders. He described the storm of emotions and memories, the resilience he had felt, and the human's lack of fear. One elder nodded knowingly. "This is why we do not hunt humans," she said. "Their minds are not like ours. They do not crumble under fear, they thrive in it. Their chaos is their strength." Ezkor asked, "But what does this mean for us? Are they predators like us?" The elder shook her head. "No, they are something else. They are not prey, but they are not predators either. They are survivors. And that makes them more dangerous than anything we've ever faced." From that day forward, Escor vowed never to hunt humans again. He spread the warning to other hunters, do not touch their mines. The chaos will consume you. As for Laura, she continued her exploration, unaware of the predators she had unknowingly defeated. To her, it was just another day of doing what humans do best, adapting, surviving, and thriving in the face of the unknown. And across the galaxy, the Soralics whispered among themselves, forever wary of the creatures with minds too chaotic to conquer. Humans were no longer seen as prey, but as something far more mysterious and powerful. The hunters who got hunted, the Soralics, prided themselves on being the galaxy's top hunters. They had hunted every species, from the massive Kork beasts of Traylon to the swift and cunning Valex birds of Kiara. Every hunt was a victory, every prey a trophy. But there was one species they never touched: humans. Stories of failed hunts spread among the Soralics like wildfire. A Soralix elder once said, "It's not that humans are strong. They are clever, too clever. Hunting them is like stepping into a trap you can't see." Eric, a young and ambitious Soralix, refused to believe these tales. He thought the elders were just making excuses. Humans looked weak, small, fragile, and without natural weapons. How could they possibly outsmart the galaxy's finest hunters? Eric decided to prove himself. He would hunt humans and show the Soralics that they had nothing to fear. He chose Earth as his hunting ground, a planet teeming with humans, a perfect challenge. Eric's ship landed in a remote forest. He activated his cloaking device and began tracking a group of humans camping nearby. He watched as they sat around a fire, laughing and chatting. They seemed completely unaware of his presence. These will be easy prey, Eric thought. He waited until nightfall. As the humans slept in their tents, Eric set up a trap, a holographic projection of a wild beast designed to scare the humans and force them into the open. Then, he hid in the shadows, ready to pounce. But when the humans woke and saw the hologram, their reaction wasn't what Eric expected. "Is this a joke?" one of them said, poking the hologram with a stick. Another human laughed and took out a strange device, a flashlight. They shone it at the hologram, revealing the projector hidden in the bushes. "Someone's trying to prank us," a woman said, dismantling the projector with ease. Eric was stunned. His trap had failed, and the humans didn't even look frightened. They were laughing. Frustrated, Eric decided to change his approach. He set up a net trap on a path the humans would take in the morning. When triggered, the net would scoop them up into the trees, leaving them helpless. At dawn, the humans walked along the path. Eric waited eagerly, but when they reached the trap, one of them stopped. "Hey, look at this," the man said, pointing to the thin wires hidden in the dirt. The group knelt down, inspecting the trap like curious scientists. Within minutes, they had dismantled the net and laid it out on the ground. "Whoever set this up clearly doesn't know what they're doing," one of them joked. Eric's frustration turned to disbelief. Every trap he set, the humans either avoided or dismantled. Worse, they seemed to enjoy solving the puzzles he created. They weren't running, they were investigating. Angry and desperate, Eric decided to confront them directly. That night, he crept into their camp and roared, using his natural hunting cry to intimidate them. The sound echoed through the forest, loud and terrifying. But instead of running, the humans grabbed makeshift weapons, sticks, rocks, and even a frying pan. "Who's there?" one of them shouted. "Show yourself." Eric hesitated. This was not how prey was supposed to act. He decided to retreat, but as he turned, his foot hit a wire. A loud snap echoed, and suddenly, he was hoisted into the air by one of the humans' traps. The humans ran toward the noise and found Eric dangling upside down. His cloaking device flickered and failed, revealing his true form. The humans froze for a moment, staring at the alien predator. Then, one of them burst out laughing. "You're the one setting all those traps?" a man said. "Looks like you got caught in ours." Eric growled, trying to free himself, but the humans approached cautiously. Instead of attacking, they cut him down and helped him stand. "You don't look so scary," the woman said, offering him water. "What are you doing here anyway?" Eric was too stunned to respond. These humans had outsmarted him at every turn, and now they were helping him. He fled back to his ship, his pride shattered. Back on his home planet, Eric reported his experience to the Soralix elders. They are not prey, he admitted. They are something else. They don't just survive, they adapt. They think faster than we can act. Hunting them is impossible. The elders nodded, unsurprised. This is why we leave humans alone. They may look weak, but they are the most dangerous prey of all. They turn hunters into the hunted. Eric never hunted humans again. And on Earth, the campers went home with an unbelievable story of the night they caught an alien in their trap. For them, it was just another adventure. For the Soralix, it was a reminder humans were not to be underestimated. The secret that saved us all the galaxy was at the brink of war. The Soralix, the most feared predators in existence, had started expanding their territory, claiming planets by force. No species could resist their strength, speed, or intelligence. Now, they had set their sights on the human colonies. Humanity was preparing for the worst. Soldiers were being trained, defenses were being built, and alliances were being forged. But deep down, everyone knew the truth: humans stood no chance against the Soralix. Their advanced technology and brutal tactics had wiped out entire civilizations. Lydia Gray, a skilled human diplomat, was sent to negotiate with the Soralix. Her mission seemed impossible. The Soralix didn't negotiate, they conquered. But Lydia was determined to try. When she arrived at the Soralix homeworld, she was struck by its beauty. The planet was lush and wild, with towering trees and vast rivers. Yet the cities were imposing sharp, metallic structures that looked more like fortresses than homes. Lydia was escorted to the Soralix High Council, a group of massive, intimidating creatures with piercing eyes and jagged features. They watched her with suspicion, as though deciding whether to eat her or listen. "You come to beg for your survival?" one of them growled. "I come to talk," Lydia replied calmly. "Humans do not want war with the Soralix. But we will fight if we must." Her words surprised them. Most species begged for mercy. Humans, it seemed, were different. The leader of the council leaned forward. "Why should we spare your kind? What could you possibly offer us?" Lydia hesitated. She didn't have a strong bargaining position, but she knew the history of humanity. "Maybe there was something in the past that could help. Before I answer, let me study your records," she said. "I want to understand why the Soralix are the way they are." The council allowed her access to their ancient archives, curious about what she hoped to find. For days, Lydia pored over the records, learning about the Soralix history. What she discovered shocked her. Thousands of years ago, before the Soralix became feared predators, their species had been on the brink of extinction. A disease had spread through their population, killing millions. Their technology was advanced, but it wasn't enough to find a cure. Then, an alien ship crash landed on their planet. The aliens were humans explorers from an ancient Earth, long before humanity had spread across the stars. The humans could have fled or ignored the Soralix, but instead they helped. They shared medical knowledge and taught the Soralix how to fight the disease. The cure saved their species. In gratitude, the Soralix made a pact: humans would always be spared from their hunts. But over time, the story faded into legend, and the pact was forgotten. Lydia knew this was the key to saving humanity. She brought the story to the council and showed them the records. The elders were silent as they read the ancient texts, their expressions shifting from disbelief to realization. "This cannot be true," one of them said. "It is," Lydia insisted. "Humans saved your species when no one else would. You owe your survival to us." The council leader stood and roared, silencing the chamber. "If this is true, it changes nothing. That was a different time, a different world. Why should we honor a forgotten debt?" Lydia met his gaze, unflinching. "Because humanity still believes in helping others, even when it costs us everything. That's who we are. You don't need to destroy us. We can be allies. We can work together to make the galaxy stronger." The council fell into deep discussion. Lydia waited, her heart pounding. She knew she had made a strong argument, but these were predators. Logic might not be enough. Finally, the council leader turned to her. "You speak with courage and truth. Perhaps we have forgotten what it means to honor the past. The Soralics agreed to a new pact with humanity, one that ensured peace between the two species. They would protect each other instead of fighting. Lydia returned to Earth a hero. Her discovery not only saved humanity but also reshaped the galaxy. The alliance between humans and the Soralics became a powerful force, bringing stability to a chaotic universe. And in the archives of the Soralics, the story of the ancient human explorers was preserved, so it would never be forgotten again. For humanity, this was more than a victory. It was proof that compassion and courage could overcome even the greatest dangers.